What's up? It's your man LL Cool J, you know what I'm saying? My man Mikey Fresh, Miss Info.
Alright, it's Kid Mikey Fresh, live from Def Jam with LL Cool J, Mr. Todd Smith. About to release your 13th album, Exit 13. That's like, you know, over 20 years of hip-hop albums. What are some of the concepts and messages you touched on with this one?
I think the concepts and the messages, I mean, it varies. And I mean, it goes from really serious and politically and socially conscious to, you know, as lighthearted and as silly as Baby, you know what I'm saying? So it's very, very diverse, you know what I'm saying? And everything in between. But the one thing I wanted people to walk away with this album is I want people to be able to listen to my album and forget about the problems. I want them to be able to forget about gas prices, forget about drama, forget about the issues and all the negativity, and really focus on, you know, having some fun. And just for, you know, 80 minutes or so, just forget about everything and listen to some hot music. You know
okay, so just, you know, doing you basically, right?
Absolutely.
And Exit 13, you know, this is your first album working with 50 Cent, who's arguably probably one of the biggest artists to come out since, you know, the post-Biggie Pac era. What made you really, you know, go to Fifth and trust him to co-executive produce your next album?
Well, actually, 50 didn't executive produce this album. 50 executive produced an album for me, but I ended up taking some of the songs from that album and putting them on this album. I actually recorded 3 albums in order to get this one album. And, you know, I did use a lot of the music that me and 50 created together. I used quite a few of the songs, like 4 or 5 songs. And I just really love working with talented people. I've always been a fan of new people and love to get new energy around me because it always motivates me and inspires me to want to make something new. And I like to have the hotness around me.
All right.
And I felt like 50 is talented, and I love some of the selections he was making musically, so I thought we could probably work together and do something hot. And some of the songs we created are making the album, and I love them. I like them. Crazy.
Do you feel like this is a comeback album for you, or do you just feel like it's just another album to the legacy, the LL legacy? I think
it's a comeback album for those beyond my core base. You know, there are some people who have been following LL Cool J every album, and for them it's not, because they understand when I, you know, do different things artistically, and when I go out on a limb, and when I get crazy and I go in another direction, and they can relate. For the general masses, it's probably going to be perceived as a comeback album because, you know, they heard me talking about promotions, marketing, and the lack thereof, and now, you know, they see that now my music is playing more than it's ever played in the last few years, and they're seeing the actual marketing take place that they heard me talking about, complaining about before, you know, when it was being painted like I was making it, like I was imagining things. So it's like, it's, you know, it's good.
Adding to that, you've never been somebody that's, you know, been afraid to voice your opinion about the record label you're signed to. Shakir Stewart recently was appointed Executive Vice President of Def Jam.
Yeah.
Are you happy with the way they're handling your project?
I'm very happy. I think that, you know, seeing Shakir here, having LA here, the whole company's behind me, I think it's pretty obvious, you know. There's an old saying, what you're doing speaks so loudly I can't hear what you're saying.
Okay.
And I think that people are, you know, it's pretty obvious that LL Cool J has, you know, is being promoted and marketed. And, you know, I think the answer to the question, how do you market LL, is being answered. So, you know, it's kind of like, you see what it is. I'm very happy. The label is embracing the project. But I've also, you know, tried to make their jobs easier by giving them better music and by giving them music that's easier to promote too. By taking responsibility creatively, by turning down movies in order to be around so that I could focus on my album and not try to be great on the side. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What was your thought process, though, going into the album? Do you feel like you still have something to prove to the fans, or are you just...
Of course I have something to prove, you know? Of course I do. You know, when you run around and you run your mouth and you complain and there are popular people involved, you always got to deliver. You know, it's like sports. You got to deliver. You know, if you're going to talk about it, where they say you're going to walk, you talk the talk, you got to walk the walk.
Yep.
Well, I'm walking the walk. Believe that. So, of course, I know I got something to prove. I always have something to prove.
Also, why is it that a lot of guys who've said that you've influenced them, a lot of guys that are out now, they said LL's been a big influence. How come they don't really show you the same kind of respect as they should? Like, you know, there's a lot of guys saying they're the greatest rapper of all time. But I mean, when you say I'm the GOAT or something like that, you know, they're quick to throw rocks at the throne.
Well, I mean, you know, that's part of hip hop. You know, the reality is I brought the term GOAT to hip hop.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I dropped the album that started the phrase. You know what I'm saying? And I got it from Ali.
Okay. Do you feel a certain way when a lot of cats say that they're the best right now?
No, that doesn't do anything. That's been the same since hip hop, since the beginning of time.
Okay.
You know, since hip hop began, everybody's always thought they were the best. But you know, only time, time reveals a man's character.
All right. Is that what it's about, though? Is it about being the greatest of all time, or about being the best rapper for you?
Well, I think, when you put it in those terms, it's pretty shallow. I think that what's more important is to maximize my potential.
Okay.
And to be as great as I can be, personally. I think that that's more important. But I also think that excellence in your craft and doing your craft, performing your duty as if you were doing it for God is important as well. I think that there's honor in that. I think there's honor in the concept of, really doing something well.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So the satisfaction, personal satisfaction, is what you're getting.
It's only personal satisfaction.
All right.
I mean, this whole thing is like I'm laughing right now. This is personal satisfaction for me. I'm laughing. I'm on the radio all day and I'm laughing. I'm laughing because they said, they didn't know how to do that. They didn't know how to promote me. So I'm laughing.